I was just going to my local shop to get some milk, and a young guy was trying to be really nice and opened a door for me and said, "There you go, old fella." And I turned back and said, "Dude, I'm 48. I felt like the walking stick that I had, a very plain walking stick, was giving me 15, 20 years onto what my actual age was. And I thought, that's really something that's got to change. Let's see if there's anything I can do that might be fun. My back condition started from a car accident when I was 17. Initially it wasn't a serious thing. I had a bit of chiropractic and moved on. But yeah, after a few years of doing jobs, I really started to notice my back was giving me problems. It was difficult to be on my feet for an 8-hour shift in a shop or a bank or wherever I happened to be working at the time, and carrying my own equipment to a gig was getting a bit more tricky. After the world record back in 2006, I started to notice the tinnitus, and then yeah, another 4 or 5 years of standing next to speakers 6 nights a week. That's kind of what did it. In those early days, it was great. Yeah, I was a karaoke host for around about 10 years, during which time I set the world record for continuous solo karaoke. I was in a couple of bands. I met my wife while I was singing in the Leeds University dance band, so doing the Frank Sinatra thing in front of a big 20-piece orchestra as a singer. That's the greatest experience. I think they're one of the greatest experiences there is. So this is my first band. We were known as Who Knows, so me in the middle. This is my best friend Doug and his brother Andy. And in this picture, we were struggling for a following and very cynically decided to try and push me as a gay icon, despite the fact that I was straight. And obviously, you know, fans don't cynically, don't buy into people that are cynically doing that sort of thing. But no, in all seriousness, we just had a lot of fun. So the first stick that I made was what I call a boomstick. So the idea is that aside from being a walking stick, I've built in a Bluetooth speaker, so that when my tinnitus gets too much for me, I can create a little sound bubble around me, whether that's just some music to distract me, or in a more serious attack, I can put on an app that plays rain sounds or river sounds, so that I have those counter frequencies to just eliminate it really, and just so I can find a little bit more balance. I was really struggling with tinnitus back around, I want to say it was probably around 2014, 2015, whenever Pokemon Go first came out, because that's how I weirdly found some help. At the time, I was only sleeping 2 or 3 hours a night. It was really keeping me awake. It was destroying my life, and it in all honesty, it got me to kind of a suicidal point, really. I didn't know how I was going to be able to live my life. And I happened to be, at the time, on the fad of playing Pokemon Go, and a friend said to me, "I found this really great place to find Pokemon, let's go." So off we went to a drive out into the countryside, and at one particular point we'd stopped, we were walking around, and I suddenly realised there was no tinnitus at all. As I then stopped and thought about it, I realised that I was stood next to just a little babbling brook that just had that bubbly, ripply sound that water does when it's running, and that was counteracting my tinnitus. I did the very dramatic drop to my knees and burst into tears and realised, oh my God, this is the answer. Went home, downloaded an app on my phone that made rain noises and slept like 12 hours. And it, you know, so yeah, Pokemon Go saved my life. Who'd have thought? But it was a big turning point because, like I say, it suddenly allowed me to think, okay, well, whilst it's not a cure, at least I can take a little bit of control over the situation and it doesn't have to dominate my life. I just wanted walking sticks to be a little bit more fun. For a start off, to change that immediate perception of them as, hang on, this isn't what I think it is. Because when I was growing up, I got bullied for wearing glasses. Now people wear glasses as a fashion item, and they even wear them without glass in them. They're that much of a fashion item. So that's a disability aid that's had its perception completely changed. GenXcess obviously have now got a stall based in Sparks in Bristol, which is a creative sustainability education retail hub, and it's fantastic. It's a place I've been waiting to exist for, again, 30 years. I've always believed that retail needed to be an experience to combat the internet, and here it is, because it's full of all these really interactive, creative people that you can then collaborate with as well. So I've got a collaboration going on at the moment with a fantastic artist called Sachin, and he's going to put some of his art onto one of my walking sticks. I own the stick doesn't own me. It's an accessory. It's no different to a hat, a handbag, or a pair of shoes, and it should be there to improve my life in whatever way it can do. So there's no limitations as to what you can have on your hat. Heck, you even have like baseball caps with a thing that you can pull so it flaps its ears, or it's got containers in to have straws and you can drink your beer through it. So if a hat can do that, why can't a walking stick do that? It should be no limitations, and the only limitations are the limitations that we put upon it. Arguably, you could argue might have caused the car accident in the first place that caused me the scoliosis, but that was 30 years ago. I didn't need the stick then, I do need it now, and certainly I've paid my price over the years. So I would hope that more people just find enjoyment in what I do and in their lives through that. In terms of the rest of the world, well, I'm trying to bring you along with me with a laugh and a smile and a song where I can. If I can keep smiling and keep my spirits up with everything I've got going on in terms of scoliosis and tinnitus, then why aren't you happier? I know it's tough out there, but don't be too hard on yourselves. You can be the change.